Greetings everyone, I am back at Universal Orlando for even more Halloween Horror Nights updates. We're just a couple of weeks away from this event starting, and it's really nice to come back to Universal Studios Florida to check on the progress that's being made as preparations are underway. One of the scare zones I've been looking forward to, the Mutations Toxic 20s scare zone over in the New York section, finally has some props and decorations, so I can't wait to check that out. Also, while I'm in the park, I'm gonna make sure I make a loop around like I always do, stopping at all the scare zones to see if there's any new changes that I can notice, again, as we get closer and closer to the event. So let's get inside the park and check it out. So as I approach the entrance to Universal Studios, I can already see that they have the giant trusses up at the entrance for the big Halloween Horror Nights sign that they usually put up here. So once we get inside, I'll take a closer look. All right, so we're inside the park, and right here they have set up the large truss that will be used for the sign for Halloween Horror Nights. Now, in past years, usually the sign has been this really large, like neon red lettering that says Halloween Horror Nights on it. I know that they're going to do something slightly different this time around because the Universal creative team have said that, but don't know exactly what it's going to look like, so I can't wait to see what the finished product is. So also right here by the gate, they have another set of trusses, and this one is usually what they put speakers on, so like when the event starts and they open that gate, as you walk through, you'll just get blasted with music and sound effects. So nothing on it right now, but eventually they will probably have speakers on there. Maybe some lights too. Right behind what will be the entrance sign is the start of the Origins of Horror scare zone. So this is the entrance scare zone for Halloween Horror Nights. Already covered this already, and I don't think there's any new props or set pieces in this scare zone, but I'll take a quick look. All right, so I noticed that they've added some just like rails on the side of the crypts. But other than that, it doesn't look like there's any big changes. Oh yeah, we got some speakers in some of them. I also see what appears to be fog machines right there. So we're probably gonna get a lot of fog in this scare zone. This is your reminder that Rip Ride Rockit is closing this month, closing permanently, not closing for refurbishment or anything like that. It is going away for good. It closes on August 18th. That's what Universal has announced, and it has that on its website. So if you want to get one final ride in, it's just a reminder, clock is ticking. So I'm probably not going to do a final ride on Rip Ride Rockit. I'm not really a fan of this coaster. The last time I rode it, it was just very painful. It's a rough ride. So I'm not going to miss this. If you are going to miss it, that's totally fine. I'm not. I'm actually looking forward to whatever is going to replace this attraction. Universal hasn't announced that yet. We're still waiting on that, but either way, I'm looking forward to that. So I've made it over to the New York section. This is where they have the Toxic 20s scare zone. Before I head inside and point out all the things that they've added, really quickly, I just want to share the backstory for this scare zone. It's basically set in the 1920s. A BuzzCon truck carrying radioactive cargo crashes into a mobster getaway car and causes chaos in the city. So as we're going through the scare zone, we'll see evidence of that, evidence of the crash, of the BuzzCon material or chemicals, the gangster trucks or gangster cars and all of that. So I'm really excited to see this one take shape, because the last time I was here, there was absolutely nothing over here. There were no decorations, no props, no signs of this scare zone. So I'm really excited to see what they have added. All right, so they have these vintage cars up here, and they're roped off with these city police department barricades. The truck here says BuzzCon, Laboratory Chemicals Industries USA. And then in the back of the truck, they have these BuzzCon canisters, likely what was carrying those chemicals that spilled and caused all the chaos. And then this must be the gangster getaway car, because you can see it's all dented up because it crashed into the truck here. There's another view of it over here. They also have this street post here that's slightly bent. So it likely was hit during this crash. And they don't have any signs up yet, but they're probably gonna put some street signs up here or something, or maybe some speakers or lights there as well. But yeah, look at the detail here. Oh, you can kind of get a better look at the damage done to that mobster car, gangster car. Across from the crash scene, we have this florist stand here. And again, the detail that Universal puts on there. So you can see here the toxic chemicals or slime or whatever BuzzCon was carrying has hit this florist stand, and it's caused some damage here. So you've got like the residue of the chemicals all over this florist stand here, even on the top sign there. Don't want to get too close to this. You don't know what's going to happen. Right next to the floor stand, we have another one of these vintage cars. This one is a police car, has police on it, has the police department sign on it. It's also roped off with those city police department barricades. All right, this is the back here of that car. Got the little license plate there. Step piece that they've set up, this is brand new over here. So this one looks like the back alley of a street, and it has like the stage door here, the brick walls. So it's likely that performers or the characters will be coming through the stage doors, and then also they have this opening here that will probably be another opening for the characters. So this is basically a stage. I wonder how that's going to be used. It's going to be like mutant mobsters. All right, so they've added another set piece here, another stage. This one has like these large like barrels, which will probably hold what? Some alcohol, some liquor. Maybe this is supposed to be designed to look like a speakeasy of some kind, maybe. So you got the newsstand here with some newspapers and magazines. And some of the newspapers have some headlines telling about what happened here, the disaster that happened here. So they say, BuzzCon spill, citizens turn into monsters, oh no. Toxic city, BuzzCon Industries responsible? We have some more headlines over here. This one's from Ye Old Herald. Gangster chase goes wrong. Police suspect Diamond Joe Malone and his gang. Okay, so that gangster car that's crashed over there belongs to Diamond Joe Malone and his gang. All right. And then the Centennial Journal Evening Edition says, rat poison causes mutations. And then they also have some fake boxes of saltwater taffy, chewing gum, some other candies up here. It's got some chocolate, milk chocolate bars. They got some magazines hanging up here for Ellis's Journal, October 1928, and then JM Society Topics, fashion, travel, and I can't see what the other thing says. And then Ellis's Journal, this one's from August, Summer Fashions. Got some more magazines and newspapers here on the side. So basically, if you read the headlines on these papers here, it kind of gives you a few more details about the story here. So clearly, Joe Malone and his gangsters tried to rob a bank. As they were escaping, they crashed into the BuzzCon car, causing a massive spill, and the chemicals turned citizens into monsters. Terrible. Stand here, you can also see the residue from the chemicals that were spilled. Decorations here on the back. Those chemicals did a number on this part of the newsstand sign. So over here in New York, we have our first set of food kiosks. Now this one has some vines on the side, and then this cloud pattern at the top. I think I saw something similar when somebody was mentioning something about the Wyatt Six. So this might be tied to the Wyatt Six house. It's one of the haunted houses we're getting this year. I'm not that familiar with the Wyatt Six or wrestling, so I might be wrong, but I think this is connected to that. And then over here we have another one covered in vines, but this one is definitely for Fallout. This one is going to be themed to Fallout because we have this giant vault here with the number 33 on it. So that's Vault 33 door there. No menus yet, so we're still gonna have to wait to find out what they're gonna be serving, but yay, we have food booths. Makes me even more excited. Over here in the San Francisco area, the general consensus is that this is the setup for the Club Horror Street experience, which makes sense. Don't really see any major changes over here. It looks like they maybe added a couple more lights and speakers, but that's pretty much it. You still have the large platform there, likely for the DJ. But yeah, I don't really see any other changes over here. So you can see some visible progress on the work being done on the bridge between London and the Simpsons area. Hopefully they'll have it done by the time Halloween Horror Nights kicks off. Because as I said in a previous video, a lot of people use that bridge to get across to the other side of the park, and it helps alleviate traffic. So hopefully, you know, on a busy event like Halloween Horror Nights, they'll have that extra pathway that people can take to help, you know, reduce some of the congestion. So making my way past London, I've already mentioned that the Death Eaters are returning. In a previous video, I showed you the setup that they have over there for that. So during Halloween Horror Nights, make sure you check out the Death Eaters because they like to roam around Diagon Alley, and it's pretty cool what they do. So I've made it over here to the scare zone for the Cat Lady of Crooked Lane, and yes, you can definitely see quite a bit of progress over here, especially on the Cat Lady's house. So looks like they finished like the paint job on the house, and the house is pretty much set. So it's got like a roof and everything. On the side here, it looks like they've added a cauldron for the Cat Lady. So I think that's likely the cauldron she's using to make the soup that she uses to turn the kids into feral cats. And then on the other side, they've added a yard where it looks like the Cat Lady has been digging a grave of some kind. This Cat Lady, my goodness, she's a menace. So they added a bunch of stuff to this. So we've got some extra vines here and greenery. Look at that. So lots of vines wrapped around the outside here. You can see where they've added even more vines and some more greenery here, plants. So that's pretty much the big change over here. They've added vines, greenery and plants and stuff to kind of really give this this area over here some more theming. I think they just added this recently, this strand of yarn here. I don't remember seeing that the last time. Very cool. Oh, yep, they've added some yarn there. Big bundle of it in the tree. So as I'm making my way down Crooked Lane, I'm not really noticing any new changes, or at least not any big new changes. Like I see probably some more balls of yarn and maybe some more clothes that they've added, some more props, but this area was pretty filled out the last time. Maybe they've added more pumpkins to some of the trees. But yeah, it's all looking really cool. All right, so I was wrong. Once I made my way towards the front of the scare zone where they have the gate for 9 Crooked Lane, I realized that they added vines and more greenery to this gate structure here. And they even added some more decorations on the actual gate. They have a sign that says, "Do not enter." So over here by the horror makeup show, they've switched out the sign here. Previously, it was a sign for Megan 2.0, but now they have the Halloween Horror Nights 2025 sign up. And of course, you can see that conservatory theming in the design there. All right, so final stop here is the scare zone for Masquerade Dance with Death. I can already see they've added some more vines over here and even some more props to those stage structures. So let's go get a closer look. So over here on this gate, right next to Mel's, they've added a bunch of vines and moss and some plants over here. So we have some vines and tree limbs added to this stage, as well as some candles. And they've even added, looks like a table and some chairs right there in the center of the stage. Even have some moss here that they've added. Planters and these candles here. So over here they've added some gargoyles to the front of the stage. And they've added champagne glasses to this table, I guess to create a champagne glass fountain. And we also have some moss and vines and some other greenery added to the back frame there. And they've also added some candles on either side as well. Over here they've added candles, some chairs, probably a table in the center there. 2 of those objects are covered up. I imagine maybe because they have some bloody or gory like things under there that they don't want shown during the day at the park. I can kind of make out an outline of it's maybe a body, not a real one, a fake one under there too, so maybe. But we have those now. And that chair is definitely worn. It's been through some things. And then, yeah, we got some moss there on the top. Some vines and candles back there. These are really starting to take shape. And we have this one, whatever's on here, is covered up. So we can't see exactly what it is. And we can kind of tell underneath here, it's rather big. But yeah, it's definitely covered up. Probably, again, something bloody or gory that they don't want just out visible in the park during the day. There's a chair behind it. And again, they've added more moss and vines and things. Candles here at the top. Some more candles. And then the gates on either side of the entrance to this scare zone have also gotten some moss and vines and plants covering it. So that's going to wrap up my time here at Universal Orlando. I hope you enjoyed joining me for a look at the progress that's being made for Halloween Horror Nights. It's really nice to keep coming back and seeing this event start to take shape, especially in the scare zones as they add more decorations and props and things. It gets me even more excited for this event. So it's just a couple of weeks away. It'll be here before we know it. And like I said, I'm very excited for this event. So all that's left now is to find out more about what's going on with the tribute store and also getting the menus. Like, we saw some of the food booths in the park, which was really exciting, but we don't know what they're going to be serving yet. And like I said, I'm really excited about this event. I love going to Halloween Horror Nights every year. It's just one of those events that I always look forward to. So let me know in the comments what you're most excited for this year at Halloween Horror Nights, the houses, the scare zones, the food. Jump into the comments, share your thoughts. Also, while you're here, do me a favor, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. It helps me grow. And also, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you next time.